When you look at Jesus, you'll see that he said, "Blessed are the brokenhearted." He said, "Blessed are the poor, blessed are those who are mourning, those who are hurting." And he puts an emphasis on the widows, the people who are forgotten in society, the people who don't have anything. And he's saying, those are the people who you love. And Jesus said, even the people who are your enemies, not even the ones that you perceive that are your enemies, but they aren't, but the real ones who are your enemies, he says that we're called to love them. And that's why the Samaritan and Jew story is so powerful, because they were actually enemies. And it was a theological difference that they had. And the Samaritans were saying, we worship over here. And Jews were saying, we worship over here. But yet, they were still at odds with each other. And Jesus is saying, it doesn't matter. You have to love each other. And so you see how much of an emphasis God puts on love. But I just want to bring up a down to earth point. A lot of us aren't able to love one another because we just only want to be with people who look like us, think like us, and have the same political ideals as us. And if that is not the case, then what good is our love? God said, yeah, you can love people who are just like you and who love you back. But what about the ones that don't? What about the ones that are different from you? What about the ones that are doing things that are opposite of the word of God? And instead of giving them, oh, this is what you're doing wrong in X, Y, and Z, and I have to give you condemnation, and you have to change in order for me to be long suffering, for me to be patient, for me to not be rude to you. We put stipulations before we give people the love of Christ. We give people, you have to assign to this political ideal and agree with all of these things about truth before I can love you. And that's just not what the word of God says. The word of God says you have to do it regardless of if they accept it or not. And the reason why Christians are so segregated in today, and we have this church and we have that church, and well, the African American church and black church is over there and the white church is over here, and we have two different Super Bowls, and all of these things are going on, is simply because we have not set it in our minds that we're going to love each other no matter what. And yes, we can have our own political ideals and our own whatever it is, but I want to ask you to take a really hard look at your life. How many people are in your life right now that you don't agree with what they're doing, or you may have really, really vast differences in everything of how they live, but you're still able to love them. You're still able to carry on a friendship. You're still able to break bread with them. You're still able to have food with them, and to not go into all of the things that you disagree with, but rather to enjoy life together. Because if Jesus broke bread with the people who were prostitutes and sinners and everybody that they looked at them, and just by association, they said, Jesus, you look guilty just by the association of them, then how much more are we called to go and love the world? And do not forget that there is a spirit inside you that has equipped you for everything that you are fearful of, because you don't have a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind.